Hey beautiful people, it's your girl Frankie here, and today I'm going to be talking about the things I did and how I study for NCLEX, because I know you guys want to know and I'm ready to spill the tea. Okay, so when you get your ATT authorization to test from Pearson, you need to go on there immediately and pick your date and time. And always remember, you always can change your date and time if you need to, but you want to do it as soon as possible. Why? Because you're not the only nursing student that graduated and that's waiting to take NCLEX. So if you want to get the most options in order for you to choose from, then you need to go on there immediately and pick your date and time, or look at your calendar and see what date and time work for you, and hurry up, get on there and try to snag that date and time. Tip: if you know you are not a morning person, seriously, do not schedule your test for 8 in the morning. Like, I'm just gonna be honest, they have different time frames you could take NCLEX. Please don't do that to yourself, because you just ask for more stress on top of what you're already stressed about. I recommend you pick a time of the day that you know you're the most awake and the most like critical thinkingness, if that makes any sense. So me, I think better towards the afternoons. So I scheduled mine for 1 p.m. in the evening, because that gives me time to get up, take a shower, eat breakfast, or whatever I want to do. That gives me time to do it. If I want to look over something real quick, that gives me time to do it. So that is my tip for that. Please do not pick times that do not work for your brain. So please don't do it to yourself. But if you are a morning person and you love getting up in the morning, and you be up at like 5 in the morning and you be just full of energy, baby, yes, pick 8 o'clock. Because some people do better in the morning, some people do better in the afternoon, and me, I do better in the afternoon. I did see times on there as late as like 5 o'clock in the evening. So no excuses. They have time frames for all different times. But like I said, if you wait to get on there to schedule, then a lot of them times are going to be gone, because you have a ton of institutions and universities and stuff waiting to take NCLEX. So yeah, that's the first tip. Tip number 2, what I did, I limited my time on social media. So I did not make any content or post any content on YouTube, and I really tried to limit my time on TikTok and all that stuff, because that takes up a lot of time and you don't realize it. But I know you're not going to study for 24/7, so let's just be honest. So I limit my time on social media. If I went on there, I did not engage in a lot of posts or anything like that. I would go say happy birthday, check my messages, things like that, like a couple posts or something like that. But I was not posting stuff. I was not doing any of that stuff. Now, what did I use to study for NCLEX? I feel like this subject is definitely up to you, but what I used was not UWorld, because I see that a lot. So when I was doing my research on good studying materials, everyone and their mom is using UWorld, like everyone. So I'm like, dang, they make you feel like I need UWorld in order to pass. So I went on UWorld to look, and their prices were just a little too expensive for me. And on top of that, I think the $200 package, you get like 2 assessments, and then of course you get the question bank. But and then if you pay more, then you might get like 3 assessments or whatever, basically just to test your overall performance. And y'all gonna calm it down. The kids are playing, obviously. I'm watching them play. But so I was just like, no, right now that's not in my budget. I'm not going to spend that much money on UWorld. So I didn't. Do I have friends that do have UWorld? Yes. Do they like it? Yeah, kind of. Like, I don't know. UWorld is probably really, really good, but I did not get UWorld. I got Archer. Archer is pretty similar to UWorld, except for it's more affordable, and you have unlimited assessments. So you could take assessments to check your readiness as many times as you would like. There's no cap on that. And then of course it has over 2,000 questions for you to do. I did not get through all of my questions. I think I only had 150 questions left by the time it was time for me to take NCLEX, but I did 75 to 100 questions a day. I only had 6 weeks, so a couple days I did not do 75 questions. I did less. So it kind of all just evened out. But I could have probably did the whole question bank if I was a little bit more focused. But yeah, I didn't do that. Another thing is, there's different ways to study for NCLEX. Now, my take on it is, we all have completed nursing school. Okay, we worked hard to get to where we're at now. You know at this point what subjects you kind of struggle in. I feel like when it comes to tests and stuff, you know, oh man, I really struggled in maternity newborn, or I really struggled with pharmacology questions. Like, you pretty much got a grasp on what you need help on or what you need to look over. Please don't go subject by subject doing all subjects. Like, don't do that to yourself. That takes way too much time. It is not a very effective way of studying. What I do recommend, I'm not a professional, but what I do recommend is that if you know you struggle in a certain area, then yes, it's okay to do 75 questions on it or 100 questions on it. Just take out a little time to focus on it a little bit more. But I wouldn't spend my whole time, like a whole week, focusing on maternity newborn. Like, don't do that to yourself. That's way too much time wasted. I do recommend that you mix up your questions. So when you go to take your questions, don't just pick cardiac or respiratory. No, pick all of them. Let the computer mix up the questions and mix up the subjects, and you just do 75 questions, because on NCLEX it's going to be a mixture of subjects. It's not going to be just one subject. So you might be like, oh man, I really struggle in med math and I really need to work on my math. So you spend a whole week working on math questions and understanding how to do med math, and you get to NCLEX and you probably won't have no damn question on math. I ain't had none. And I like med math. I wanted med math questions because I'm really good at med math. I didn't get not one med math question. So I'm glad I didn't spend time on looking over different. And if you do study it, just know the basics. But NCLEX is, keep in mind, NCLEX is very broad. NCLEX is not as detailed and as difficult and all that stuff on these ATI, Saunders, and UWorld, because I heard about their questions, and Archer and all that stuff. Like, I think they make those way harder because NCLEX is to the point. They don't give you these long paragraphs of scenarios. Like, it just wasn't like that. So I say really try to go over your basics, like fundamentals, and go over like stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Prioritization and delegation. That is a big subject on NCLEX, I will say. So I use Archer, and I feel like it did what it needed to do. Their details are not, some of their details are not, say that again. Some of their rationales on their questions are not very detailed. So in that case, if I really did not understand that question or understand that subject, then I would just go back into like my ATI book or something and look for it and just scan over it. You know, if it was something I ran into that I had no idea what it was, I would look it up. Boom. That's me studying right there. If I didn't look it up at that time, I would probably just make a quick note, look up whatever that was, and then that was it. So that's kind of how I did that. When it came to other study materials that I did use Mark Klimek. Mark Klimek is slept on, okay? He is amazing. It's a couple other YouTube channels and stuff like that mention Mark Klimek. All of his lectures, he has 12 lectures, because I think he did a seminar and someone recorded it, which he does give them permission to record, so it's not illegal, okay? He says it's on the tape. They got it on the recording for students to record and to share. It's okay. So someone was nice enough, whoever the original person was, to upload it to YouTube. You can go on YouTube and you can find all of his lectures. He had 12 lectures. He used to write for NCLEX, but at one point in time, NCLEX told him he cannot write for them and then teach nursing students how to pass NCLEX. So he had to choose. He chose to do lectures and seminars. He stated that a lot of his questions are still on NCLEX, considering they only change it 5% every like 5 years or something like that. So a lot of his questions still on there. And when I say this man knows what he's talking about, and the way for you to remember things and stuff like that is mind-blowing. It's kind of like, man, I wish I would have listened to this during nursing school instead of studying for NCLEX, because it is that amazing when it comes to his material. His lectures are not short lectures, okay? These 12 lectures, they cover a lot of things. They cover psych, they cover maternity, newborn, and kids. They cover prioritization, delegation. It covers ABGs and things like that. So it covers a lot. Cardiac, I'm telling y'all. So I'm gonna list all of his videos down below for y'all, but I recommend that you listen to all of them. Why? Because he has amazing information on all of it, okay? And all of his recordings. So it's not a video, it's a recording. So I recommend you listen to all the recordings. But if you cannot listen to all of them, definitely listen to lecture 12, which is prioritization and delegation, because it will teach you how to answer those questions of who to see first, who can be discharged, things like that. Like, it's definitely amazing. What can you assign to an LPN, or LPNs, what can you take, like what patients can you take, what is stable, what is unstable, things like that, like what it really, really means. And yeah, so just quickly, fresh post-op is the first 12 hours. I thought it was the first 24 hours. No, it's the first 12 hours. They never talked about that in class. I don't know if it's just my school or if your school have, but it's information like that when you go to answer them questions, amazing, I'm telling you. So anyways, so he is amazing. So I will recommend you listen to him. He does have, oh, great job, Levi. He does have a blue book, a yellow book, and then lecture notes. I printed all of that stuff out. So I will insert a clip of that, but it's honestly, yeah, I'll insert a clip of that. But the lecture notes basically just overall of his lecture. The yellow book is what you follow along, like fill in the blank as he's lecturing, but it's already filled in because somebody already did it. Okay, the answers are already there. And then the blue book is something that he gives all the people that attend his lectures to do at home on their own, but somebody has already given you the answers to that as well. So all the answers are there. You just have to look at it, okay? You just look at it. I'm trying to think, how did I even do that? I think it was attached to somebody's Mark Klimek video or something. I don't know, but I ended up printing it out. So I printed it out for myself, and I have it. If I find the link, I will put it down below for you guys. This is the ATI comprehensive NCLEX RM review that they gave us. But this is the Mark Klimek's yellow book. Just kind of like some information on here. It's pretty thick. I just printed it off because, I wasn't going to buy the book. So I just printed it off for free. But it got some good information in there in regards to his lecture. So these are notes like in his lecture, like kind of fill in the blank as you listen to it. But when you download it, somebody has already gave you the answer. So it'll have the questions. I typed that in, but it gives you the answers. So you don't necessarily have to do that, but this is the yellow book that I was talking about. And then this is the blue book from Mark Klimek, the blue book. And this is the one that you kind of do it on your own, kind of fill out the information. It looks small, but I think that's just how it printed out. But I just printed it all out myself because I'm not going to pay for it. And the answers are already there. Somebody has already put the answers there, so I just kind of filled it in, but they already have the answer at the end of the questions, so to tell you, like, you already have the answers basically. But if you want to extra step, I know I learn sometimes by writing. I'll just write it out. But am I gonna go back and look at these books? Probably not. So I study as I'm doing it. And then this is his notes that I printed out, which is not really all that thick. It just looks like it, but these are the notes. Seems like a lot, but when he go through it on the lecture, it makes so much more sense. But I have this in case I want to go back and look at it. But hey, all this stuff, did I really go back and look at it? Probably not, unless I wanted to like really look up a subject. Unless I really wanted to look up a subject, then I will go back and look and see what it said. But other than that, no, I did not really go back and look at this stuff. So this was me studying. When I was highlighting, that is what I call studying. That's it. Like, I'm not going to go back and look at it. So this kind of just stayed in my book like that. And then I would take this book to work. So if I wanted to look at something, I could, but other than that, that was it. But yeah, so those are the things that I used to study for NCLEX. Like, I didn't do a lot. I tried to keep it simple. I tried not to have too much stuff going on when it came to studying for NCLEX. I feel like when you're looking at like UWorld, Saunders, Archer, Hesse, and you're looking at all these different question banks and ATI, like, I feel like it's just too much. Like, you don't need that many freaking questions, okay? I'm just gonna be honest. It's overkill. NCLEX is very broad, very to the point. Like, definitely know your prioritization and delegation, because they will be asking you a lot of questions. Keep in mind, at the end of NCLEX, you do not have to do that questionnaire quiz thing at the end. I didn't do it. But if you want to know more about like my NCLEX date and what I think and all that stuff that happened on that day and how the test went, then check out my previous video, because I do have a video of that. This video is just for you guys to know how I studied. I did get 75 questions and I passed in 75 questions. I had 27 select all applies because I took tally as I was taking the questions. So I only had like 2 psych questions. A lot. I did have quite a few prioritization and delegation questions. But other than that, it wasn't actually, that test to me was easier than the school test, like our classroom test. It was so much easier. And like I said, Mark Klimek, that's your man, because he will tell you how to answer pretty much all of these freaking questions. He got you, okay? I wouldn't steer you wrong. If you don't do nothing else, I don't care what test bank you use. I don't care if you use UWorld, ATI, Saunders, whatever you want to use, Hesse, Kaplan, use whatever you want. Listen to Mark Klimek. That part, whatever, but listen to Mark Klimek. And if you can't listen to all the lectures, they're not short. They're about an hour to an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, depending on it. But when I say those lectures don't feel like you listening to them for that long, I'm telling you, I listen to the lectures, okay? Because if I give you one advice, that is it. Mark Klimek. Listen to his lectures. I think he got some updated lectures. I'm not sure. I think I'm listening to like some older ones. But if I say I can pass NCLEX just by listening to them older ones, trust me, nothing has really changed. I'm just being honest. Nothing has really changed. So if you don't listen to nothing else, listen to Mark Klimek. If you can't listen to all his lectures, listen to lecture 12, which is prioritization and delegation. I'm telling you, listen to that, okay? But that's it, guys. I hope this video was to the point. I hope you guys got some a little bit more insight. But if you need more information or you want me to elaborate on something, then definitely comment that down below. Give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. And Nurse Life, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.